Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Get up, get going. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Wednesday to talk all the news from the wild, colorful world of professional wrestling. It is our good friend, comedian Brian Wohl. Brian, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Hey, Nick. Happy Wednesday. How you doing?
Woo! I'm great, man. I got my cowbell. I'm having a party here. I got my little laser gun. I'm having a party up in here right now. It's crazy.
Are you bringing those to your event on Friday for Rampage?
Maybe the cowbell, probably I'm gonna need it. We're gonna have so many people there. I'm gonna need to bring attention to myself. So, hey, yeah, we'll talk all about that and more here as the show goes along. If you want to talk with us, jump in the chat room. Samantha, Rick, Rob Humphrey. Oh, good. Nick has a cowbell. Yeah. If you want to bring your comments to the table, we'll throw them up on the screen. And we will have this conversation with you today as we go along. But before we get to all the show and the things going on here, some big news for Brian and I next week. We have some huge plans for Wrestling Inc. In regards to our SummerSlam and AEW Rampage, the First Dance coverage next week. So next Thursday, we got invited to go attend a WWE tryout camp in Vegas. So I am going to fly into Vegas on Thursday morning, attend this camp, do coverage, present it to you all however it plays out. I've never done one of these. I'll fly out that night. I'm going to sleep. While I'm sleeping, Brian, you're going to be attending the official WWE SummerSlam press junket, correct?
Yes. Very much looking forward to that. I'm excited to hear what the superstars have to say. This year's SummerSlam looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to it for a while. I have to say, man, I'm really excited for Seth Rollins and Edge.
Yeah, well, and you're probably going to get to talk to them, Brian.
Yeah, right?
You're going to talk to Edge and Seth Rollins like 24 hours before they're going to get into action. Maybe Roman Reigns, right? You must be sure to honor him, right? To recognize him.
How can you not when you're standing next to that guy?
So why would I be flying in and out on Thursday and then Brian's doing this thing on Vegas on Friday morning? Well, because Friday night, I'll be at the United Center for the First Dance. They're going to be doing a media scrum afterwards. That's weird. Why would they? Who could they possibly put out into this scrum that I would be doing this crazy red-eye flight to make it back and do this? So we'll have that coverage for you as well. We're hoping to live stream those scrums here for what it's worth. And then on Saturday, you will be at SummerSlam, correct?
I will be.
Man.
I will be in attendance.
Yeah, so he will be at SummerSlam. I will be in Chicago, outside here of Chicago, at Warrior Wrestling, calling Kylie Ray versus Thunder Rosa, Trey Miguel versus Jake something. A lot of big action going to be going down next week. So much coverage from Brian and I. We'll do our best to just make it all great, I guess is what I'm saying. So I put that all out there, Brian. It's very exciting.
I'm very excited. I got to tell you, I don't know if you've been following Ruby Soho on Twitter. She posted a little something last night with it said Runaway, and it looked like Chicago. I'm not sure. And I was like, oh man, Nick might have more than one debut at First Dance.
Ruby Soho, the setup pop, and then I'm just gonna knock on wood and say you all know who we think's gonna to be there. Probably close that show out, right? God.
I mean,
yeah. Jonas here saying would love a live stream of Media Scrum. Yeah, we're working on it. The goal is to live stream the Media Scrum here and then all of our other socials and stuff. So we're going to try to bring that to you. All right. Let's get to what this show is. I'll show some more stuff at the end of the show, so stick around. But this show today, if you're listening to us in audio form, after we talk the news today, you're going to hear my conversation with the Sauce Alex Zane, formerly WWE superstar Ari Sterling. He was released this past Friday by WWE. We have a lot of great content to bring to you in the coming weeks. I stopped the press, as I said, if he's going to give us his time here so shortly after this, we're running as soon as possible. So today, the Sauce Alex Zane here, Ari Sterling, over half an hour. We're not doing it in 2 parts. It'll debut at 1 p.m. Eastern over on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel, so you can jump in the chat room there. But a really great talk, and I want to thank Alex, Ari, whatever you want to call him. Alex, I think you would prefer at this point, for the time. Really great interview. And then at the end of the show for everybody, we'll dive in the mailbag. We're going to look at who you would like to see, knock on wood, CM Punk feud with in WWE or AEW first when he supposedly joins the company. All right, with that, time for news you can use, news will leave a bruise. NXT was last night. We'll lead off there. Yeah, WrestleVote saying going into NXT last night, the mood at the PC ahead of the show, oh boy, tensions running high to say the least. What a weird time to be backstage in NXT right now, Brian.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you got to feel just gutted. Bronson Reed. I love Bronson Reed. I felt like he was kind of the soul of the show right now, and to see him, get so unceremoniously released in the middle of SmackDown, it's just, I don't know, man. It just hurts.
Yeah.
And on Twitter last night, one of the fans in attendance at NXT tweeted, I think it's at Taratastic. She said, "So we started off with our usual 'We are NXT' chant, and someone yelled back, 'We were NXT.'"
Oh, I hadn't seen that. Oh, so it's getting like asylum levels down there where the crowd has been there for too long, and now they feel like maybe they could take some ownership of the show. Maybe that's our last line of defense for these superstars. Those fans that have given their time and energy to be at that the cock, the CWC every week, So.
Yeah, I mean it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just crazy to see. And for me, I was a day one WWE Network subscriber. I was thrilled for NXT. I was just so invested, and to see the way it's being treated really hurts.
Yeah, and if you're backstage here tonight and you're hearing these releases are going to be regular, like staying motivated, staying in that mindset to go out there to perform would seem to be difficult, I would think, since everybody kind of feels, a little on edge about just their general work as well. But at the same time, the grieving process, friends of yours gone, escorted out by security, given trash bags filled with belongings, like there's a toll that goes on for those left behind as well.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know how. I guess it's personal pride. Everybody's showing up for personal pride right now.
Yeah,
at the very least.
We have here Eric Roberts. I mean, how could Adam Cole not jump ship? I fear the worst if he wins at TakeOver. Yeah, it was one of 2 big matches announced last night. William Regal announced the undisputed finale of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. They'll do 2 out of 3 falls. First fall, regular. Second fall, street fight. Third fall, if they get to it, steel cage, which would seem to be the case. But this could be the last hurrah here for Adam Cole at TakeOver,
Yeah, I love that it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. That is kind of the signature blow-off match for NXT feuds.
Right.
So I was thrilled for that. But what's with all these extra stipulations? I'm sure that these guys can pull off a great match without all this other stuff. I don't know, man.
I just remember talking to Kyle O'Reilly when we had him on Waltman's podcast a while back, and him just being like as perplexed by why they did the unsanctioned match so early in the feud, where it's like that's something you're supposed to build to. He's like, where do we go from here? I guess this is. I mean, it's definitely you got a cardio 3 matches, man. That's I guess I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of like it's so quintessential WWE right now because now they're doing rematches of rematches within a greater match. So you have like Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole straight up wrestling match to start. Then you have their other greatest hit, the unsanctioned match, and then we blow it off in the cage all in one.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Dave in here saying if Izzy's out on NXT, it's over. So I really, as the heart and soul of NXT, I really would like to know how Izzy's feeling about the brand right now. She's doing press. Maybe we get her on here. We'll talk to Izzy.
I like that granny. I like the NXT granny a little bit more.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, well, we'll get her take too, Brian. You know what? Look at Brock Lesnar guy can come in on this. I don't know that Frank the Clown gets a say in anything.
Oh, come on, you're tight with him.
I'm just kidding. He gets 2 votes. Pollo Del Mar here. They surely do not want to release too many members of the Undisputed Era. God forbid that faction reunite somewhere else. It would be very interesting to see. But I mean, yeah, Bobby Fish is gone, but it looks like Roderick Strong he's got battle Kushida, which is, by the way, interesting because our guest here today, Ari Sterling, his last match with WWE for that Cruiserweight Championship against Kushida. So not a guarantee because you're the title picture that your job is safe. So
nope.
He got fired the day of his match airing. So he got fired, and then he could sit home and watch himself have a Cruiserweight Championship match. That's a real mental mind F right there.
I hope whatever he was drinking, it was strong and tasty.
Smoky, whatever.
Jeez.
So also on last night's show, we saw it be announced that the $1 Million champion LA Knight's going to defend his title against Cameron Grimes in their third meeting at TakeOver. Per the stipulation, if WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase, he will become the butler of Knight if Grimes does not win this match. So if LA Knight wins, now Ted DiBiase is the butler. If not, I guess Grimes is no longer. I don't know, man. They've lost the plot for me on this one. I thought I was like, maybe they've got something great in mind making Grimes the butler, and it's just the wheels have come off this thing for me, man.
They got nothing anymore. And also, what's with babyface Ted DiBiase? Why should Ted DiBiase ever be a babyface? Last time that guy was a good guy was like 1982. What are you doing? What? I just, no. He's the $1 Million Man. He's supposed to be evil. What? Oh, my God. I'm tearing my hair out, man.
I got to read Eric Roberts' comment here. Virgil returns to screw over Ted, then book it. Sure. Love that.
Like Take him out with a meat sauce.
Bunch of meat sauce. Horse style. You know? Anyway. Yeah, they have lost the plot for me on this thing. And I said this a while ago, but I haven't said it recently because it hasn't seemed relevant to me. But last night, between the $1 Million stuff with the shenanigans and, you know, whatever, and all the stuff with the Way and Dexter Lumis, NXT, they have this comedy slant. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing because I think some of the Lumis Gargano stuff, Johnny is a waiter, that was goddamn gold. You know, some of it's funny, but like then you go over to like a 30-second AEW Rampage commercial and you walk away feeling like you just had whatever the strongest Mountain Dew on the planet is. I mean, it's just a very different kind of energy, and I don't know that the comedy stuff, as you know, as much as it does personally make me laugh sometimes, I don't know that that's the right direct. I don't know that that's helping their cause any, you know, putting out this kind of campy comedy stuff as regularly as they are right now.
Yeah, I don't know what NXT is as a brand right now.
Mm-hmm.
Their logo suggests that they are the hardest wrestling company in the world. You know, everything looks mean, but then the content is toothless.
Yeah. Pollo Del Mar again jumping in saying Mountain Dew is releasing a new Hard Dew with alcohol later in the year.
Like college in a can.
Yeah, it's like a heart attack. It just sounds like a way to die. Like,
I mean, yep.
The Hard Dew. Does it come with a syringe? You know. All right. Ranky 841. They followed the comedy stuff. By the way, with a Cross and Joe package, and the contrast was glaring. And yeah, like I'm watching that Joe Cross package, and like the build to that match has been so lost, you know. And it's the first time I'd really thought about like how weird all the Cross stuff is. And is it a reaction to NXT losing? Is it a reaction to Vince fired Samoa Joe? And Hunter's like, no, Joe's my friend. Joe gets to stay. So since Vince can't lay hands on Joe, right? Weirdly, because that was like the whole reason that's whole Joe's plotline the last couple of months or so. But anyway, since Vince can't directly lay hands on Joe and personally mess with his career, what he can do is personally mess with his opponent and take away the steam to Joe's return match. And I wonder, that's an outside the box theory, but I wonder if that is not something in the back of Vince's mind, you know?
You know, it sounds crazy, but it's totally believable. I mean, it's Vince McMahon. Almost anything is believable. People were really checking into that idea that Vince might secretly own AEW. What an interview you got there, buddy.
You thought, dude. I want to address the Gary Wolf interview real quick. And that was only part one, by the way. I cut it into two because I was like, because he said that.
Oh boy.
Okay, so here's the thing about the Gary Wolf interview. So I put this, and I told Raj, I said, Raj, I think we should lead off next week with this. Gary Wolf is not the biggest name we have, but he says this thing that I think is going to get everybody talking because it's this kind of crazy theory. And so, and Raj was like, that's fine. You know, it's a conversation starter, but we gotta make sure to put like crazy theory in the headline so we are not like Gary Wolf is reporting that Vince owns, you know, gotta delineate. Okay. So we get this thing and I assigned it to a writer, great writer. I think Jason wrote it up. He's awesome. Props to Jason Ounsworth, does a great job. We have a great bunch of wonderful writers, Eric, Marco, Liam. I'm missing somebody, I'm sure. But anyway, I give it to Jason. Jason writes it up, and he sends it back to me, and I look at it, and I really start to realize that because Gary Wolf lived through the ECW period where Vince did have an interest in ECW, and the roster didn't really know, I think that he sees this through like a kind of different viewpoint, and that somehow gave credibility to his viewpoint. And that particular story is the most trafficked item by a mile on the site. And I've had multiple people ask me about it. It's wild, dude. I had one kid send me like a 10 DM Twitter thread with his theory about why Vince owned AEW right now. I mean, really just hit him right on the head, got them all talking. So anyway, wanted to address the Gary Wolf story because it did get so much. You just brought it up.
I mean, what a story. What a story.
Is it?
I mean, to me, it's just so bonkers. I just think it's so bonkers. And it just shows, you know, like when the product on TV isn't as interesting, people will go to the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we're at right now, where we're getting this wild theory. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right. Well, lastly here from NXT before we jump into a couple of AEW items, and then we'll do the Alex Zane interview, and we'll talk CM Punk at the end of the show. But Ember Moon, she got pulled from last night's NXT episode. It was announced that Moon is now medically unable to compete as determined by NXT medics. She was scheduled to face Saray in a first time ever match on NXT, but Saray faced. And I believe she lost. I had to go back and watch that. But, right, did Dakota Kai win that opening bout or no?
Yes.
And then Raquel ran her off? All right.
Yeah.
I have to double-check everything because my brain is so foggy these days. But I'm glad I got that one right through the fog. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, Dakota Kai won there, which surprised me because Saray has just been on this tear. I don't know why that happened. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right there. What? Why would that happen? And why would you? Because she didn't have to wrestle Saray. She could.
Right.
They could have substituted any match. You could do anything. You as the booker have an eraser, and you could erase anything and just make a new thing. It doesn't. I don't know. And WWE's done it so many times. Why Saray? It just doesn't make sense. She could have wrestled anybody.
Yeah, agreed. Now, Polio saying here Dakota is going into a title match, which I agree, right? She's going up against Raquel, but like I'm with Brian where it's like didn't need to be Saray. There are other women there that could have been used to heat up Dakota Kai there at the moment. It's not like they have released quite a few people, but it is not like the bench is still not pretty deep down there at the Performance Center, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, Ember Moon, she tweeted out the following regarding getting pulled. She says, this has been an extremely rough month. I am angry and gutted. I was really looking forward to this match and getting back on track, but just got another pothole in the road. I'm sorry. So unfortunately it sounds like Ember Moon, confirming the report. And I don't know how long it'll be till we see her back, unfortunately.
Snake bit, man.
I hope that this is all on the level, because like her tag team partner just got moved to SmackDown, right? And like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm buying into the paranoia now. We start talking Gary Wolf while we're talking NXT. It's just a lot of moving pieces right now. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people asking themselves the same questions right now. Like, is this because almost to a T, Alex doesn't say it in this interview, spoiler alert, but almost to a T, a lot of people have said that they were promised things or told things that just did not come to fruition there. And that was like a big part of their frustrations working at the company, or things would happen, or they'd ask like, why is this happening? They're like, well, we'll tell you later. And then later never happened. And then they were released. So anyway, just throwing it out there. All right, let's move to AEW. Joey Janela has turned heel. He's declared the bad boy summer is here on AEW Dark Elevation. Janela and Sonny Kiss came out for a tag match against Baron Black, and they debuting DMC, but Janela pulled a shocker by super kicking Sonny Kiss on the ramp during the entrance. He then took out their would-be opponents as they came to check on Kiss, finished Kiss off with a pile driver on the steel ledge. Fans in the arena erupted, Joey sucks, you still suck. The segment ended with officials helping Kiss to his feet at ringside. He then tweeted the following: bad boy summer has begun, which is not a good time to start the summer, Brian, because we are like nearly halfway done.
We're pretty much done.
Oh, whatever. Okay. Hey, start when you start, baby. And he also tweeted out, I did what I did, not because Sonny, it's because most mainstream wrestling fans are absolute losers, mutant scum, always arguing about ratings, what's wrestling, what's not, who's dating who, body shaming, what's going on backstage. Now you have a reason to really hate me. This comes from the heart. If you stood by me through the years, thank you. If not, and you've partook in any of these activities, you belong in a hole. And Joey, as someone who pays their bills doing like half of these things, I don't body shame. I don't really, unless it like becomes news about who's dating who because somebody did something stupid. I think what is wrestling is a good. I think that's fine. We argue about the rating. I don't really argue about them. I don't know. Anyway, you're always welcome. Always welcome on the show. Friend of the show, Joey Janela. But Joey's a heel, dude. This got a lot of attention. I'm very happy for Joey and Sonny for that matter. And
I love this pair, but if this gives them even more of a spotlight, I'm down for it. I love that DMC came to Sonny's aid right after the attack, so now we at least get a little bit of an idea of who DMC is, and maybe Sonny's got some new friends, so that's cool. And also, AEW can always use some more heels, and Joey Janela knows what he's doing there, man.
Yeah, I think that, yes, AEW certainly could use more top heels. Joey Janela is going to be great in that role. He's really owning this. He looks very physically different than he has in recent years. Honestly, he looks the best. Yeah. But yeah, Sonny was getting. I mean, my worry here is that they're gonna do something with Joey, and like Sonny's gonna continue to be forgotten about. And I don't really understand that because Sonny's got such a unique presentation and obviously has resonated with their audience. I hope that this means that they're gonna be like, hey, wait, we got to find something for Sonny to do now. As opposed to continuing to let Sonny linger. I mean, I definitely get the vibe Joey's going to be doing things. He was presented like an absolute monster here. But I hope that there's some plan here for Sonny to get a bit of a rub out of this as well.
I do too. I really enjoy Sonny, and I think Sonny makes the show better just whenever Sonny's on the screen.
Yeah, very enjoyable. Big fan of Sonny Kiss. And the other thing about this is, I'm a little sad that this is playing out like on an AEW Dark Elevation. I know that you got to do things to like bring people to these shows and you want to go out of your way. It's just like, I have to take in so much wrestling. I can't watch everything and to like go out of my way to find this. And it's something that I know, I mean, I'm looking at the metrics. This is still a top 3 news item on the site after nearly 24 hours. Like people are really into to this Joey Janela heel turn on Sunny Kiss. Maybe just could have used a bigger platform. Maybe hopefully the next step is on a bigger platform. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe so, but YouTube is very shareable. How do we get our media? How are we consuming our content? And so, the way I found out about it was on Twitter. And,
Sure.
As a wrestling fan, I'm always, checking my Twitter, seeing what's going on around the world. I found out about this. What did I do? Booted up YouTube, and there it was for me. And I'm watching. I'm hooked. So, this got me back into Dark Elevation. I haven't watched Dark Elevation in a while. So
I guess so. Well, Antonio Garcia here, I agree with this sentiment. Sonny is one of the talents that make AEW stand out from the vanilla.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, okay. We'll talk about AEW Dark here. Max Caster. We'll wrap up the news here with our Max Caster block. So it looks like the Acclaimed was pulled from last night's AEW Dark episode. AEW previously announced them versus Hunter Knott and Rosario Grillo. However, the original tweet was deleted. A new tweet was posted for the show, which did not include the match with the Acclaimed. Caster has not appeared on AEW programming since his controversial rap about Simone Biles, the Duke lacrosse team, COVID test, and, of course, Julia Hart. Ringside News saying that Caster's been suspended for 2 months without pay. It was also noted that he must enter sensitivity training and pass those courses before being brought back. Fightful echoing that, saying it sounds like Caster has been put on ice for the time being. However, they didn't mention a suspension, but this seems to be very much in line with what happened with Sammy Guevara over the Sasha Banks comments.
Yeah, I feel like Max Caster, this is good that he's getting this training if this is true, but at the end of the day, anyone could have edited that out.
Agreed.
And
I don't know. I don't want to besmirch RSN here too much, but I need to hear this from the horse's mouth. I got to hear this from Tony Khan. I haven't heard this confirmed by Tony Khan. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. We haven't seen this confirmed yet. No statement has been made like they did for Sammy Guevara. So, we'll see what all this means. And anybody could have edited that out. They had a week. So I don't want to see Max just be the scapegoat for this situation. There's more than one person to blame here. And, we want to see people take responsibility. What kind of wrestling show do we want to put out?
Yeah. And Pollo Del Mar here jumping in again. It's a teachable moment for Max. I agree with that. And I was actually very, and again, I'm not Sasha Banks. It sounds like publicly, at least, she's saying that she's happy that Sammy has learned a lesson and moving on. Hoped everyone did. I hope this is a similar kind of situation here. Yeah. It is tough. I mean, AEW has the blessing of having a lot of great young talent on national TV each week. They also have the curse of having a lot of young talent on TV each week with these platforms. And it takes time to find your voice sometimes and learn those lessons about where those lines are. Everybody gets brought up in very different environments. And that is something that certainly at 36, I have learned over time when it comes to dealing with all many of different people, right? But everyone is capable of change and learning and growing. And this was not anything I don't think that Max can't learn from, and that hopefully others in that orbit can also learn from as well. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining me at the top of Show Talk News of the day. And thank you to the Sauce Alex Zane, a.k.a. Ari Sterling, for taking the time to talk to me. We are a half hour away, if you're watching us live right now, from debuting my conversation with Alex Zane over on our YouTube channel. His first interview since his WWE release, talks about his run, 205 Live, NXT, the state of NXT, all of that stuff. So go check that out if you're watching us in video form. And if you're in audio form, thanks for listening. All right, we're going to dive over to the mailbag here today. At Wink Daily, WINC Daily over on Twitter. That's the account to follow if you want to find out about our daily polls. Right now we are at, 1,158 followers. Now, if you become the next follower, you'll be 1159. It's a very special number. It's maybe my favorite number. So you could be 1159 if you go hit that subscribe number today. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Today's poll question stems from this Fightful report saying CM Punk has been training on his own as of late regarding his pro wrestling return. It was noted that wrestlers and cast members who worked with Punk over the last 6 months on the Star Show had promising things to say about his in-ring potential. One source noted that Punk looked, quote, completely healthy, especially compared to the end of his WWE run in late 2013, early 2014. Another source indicated that Punk was, quote, very good in the ring, to the point where they wondered if he'd been training in private leading up to being in the ring with other workers on the show. A third source, multiple sources here, indicating that Punk was working so well in the ring, it was as if he'd never left the business. How am I not surprised by this? Right?
Yeah. I mean, he lives in Chicago, so he has access to whatever gym he wants. I'm sure that there are plenty of folks that could work with him and keep him fresh. Also, he has one hell of a wrestler in his wife, AJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
I think I might know where he's training these days. Here in Chicago. But the other thing about Punk too is, best in the world, whatever, peak performer. There's a certain skill set that once it's ingrained into you, like, does it diminish a bit as time goes on? Yes. Do you need to resharpen the skills, retighten the knots? Sure. But you know how to do it, right? Once you've been there, once you could get back to that. Also, Punk is now on like UFC shape, right? This guy has kept himself like MMA ready. And when you're on the road doing that WWE schedule like he was, especially because when he was there, they were still doing tons of house shows and all that. It is tough on your body. It is tough to stay in that kind of prepared shape. An aggressive, focused, fit, healed up CM Punk. I'm very interested to see what that lion looks like in the den.
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to the first dance. We're going to see some really exciting stuff, and I feel like is this leading into who he's going to feud with first?
Yeah, that is. So the poll question today. Who should CM Punk feud with first in AEW? Over 500 votes here. The poll choices I put up were Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Adam Page, or somebody else. 40.5% say Kenny Omega, 26.8% Jon Moxley, only 12.3% for Adam Page, and then about 20% are write-ins, which we'll get to here in just a second. But Brian, yeah, who do you want to see Punk feud with first?
I mean, we got to go for the biggest fish, Kenny Omega. Dream match right there. Then it also allows Punk to have some warm-up matches against Gallows and Anderson. I'd love to see Punk and Gallows together again. What's that going to be like? So many great combinations. I feel like Joey Janela is on a collision course with Punk at some point, or Daniel Bryan with this heel turn. So I'm very excited for that. Punk and Pac, Punk and MJF, Punk and Pentagon. I'm so into it.
I do feel like it's going to be Kenny Omega, right? But I also kind of want to see a Joey Janela or an MJF, right? I know MJF's deeply involved in the Jericho stuff. I would love to see like Jericho or MJF bring Punk out as the fifth, whatever test, and like ends Jericho's chances of getting that match with MJF, only for Punk to like give a GTS to an MJF and set something up. You get your Punk Jericho match, then you set up your turnaround feud. I'm not against an angle like that either. But the reason I say I think he's going to do the Omega thing, other than the obvious thing that Adam Page got taken out and whatever's going on here with Christian, there's all these like basketball teases with the Elite right now, right?
Yes.
And like they're going to the United Center. And why would these guys be playing so much basketball on the road to the CM Punk show where it's all basketball themed? He's probably going to have the Chicago Bulls, little do song played.
Oh, yeah.
Cutting into, something like that. So I think Omega all the way. And he wore like a Cookie Monster shirt on Dynamite that a lot of people were reading into as well.
Man, yeah. I didn't notice that, but now that you say that, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's all coming, man.
Because Punk has said Cookie Monster is one of the CM, like what CM could stand for.
Yeah.
Rick Plot here, super chat, Punk versus Allen, sure. Darby Allin was the one to do that best in the world tease. The Buzzcat, Kenta or MJF? Kenta said he wants the match.
Oh man, that would be so fun.
Forbidden Doors open. We have not VKE. I want to say Moxley just as pure bias because Mox is my favorite, but also Darby Allin. A lot of write-ins here for Mox and Darby. At Dougal McDougal 2, right off the bat, feud with Bryan Danielson. Get right to it.
Get a rematch of that. Oh God, what was that pay-per-view? It was, gosh, 2012 Punk versus Bryan. That was such a great match. Okay. It was like June.
I'll run it back in AEW is what you're saying. I
remember. Yeah, just one.
I think the idea of using these as little sprinkles right here. We're gonna get Punk first. Daniel Bryan, it sounds like in New York. We got a write in here from Wooly13W, Bray Wyatt, right? Another one where I think if you're going to do it, wait a little bit. You don't need to pile up all these big names at once. Another one on Twitter here for Darby. I don't think Britt's going to be his first opponent. Sorry there. Take 26. Luther, not feeling it. More for Darby. A lot of people, Darby. Darby MJF on Twitter seems to be the bulk of the write-ins. Now, over here in the comment section, we have, there was a bunch of them here. Let me see where I can. Well, first of all, Polio saying I'm distracted by Brian's bug-filled backdrop.
Yeah, my wife is really into dead things. She's got a lot of bugs.
Great. We have Punk versus Hager. That's from Eric Clark. A couple MMA guys. Okay. And then we see here, we have Eric Clark get Punk versus Cage. Brian Cage. That'd be kind of interesting.
That'd be a really fun match.
Dellin 13. What about Punk versus Archer? I'd be about it. I just think that Archer's bound to just be this monster here for a while before Daniel Bryan comes along and takes that title from him. Is my guess. You know.
I think you're right on that one.
At Rick Plott here again at AEW All Out. It should be CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. I think that's gonna be. I think it's the setup at United Center. The payoff at All Out is my guess.
Gotta be.
And lastly here, we'll do go back to Polio. My wife is really into dead things, followed by my forced silence. Make sure she turns that oven off at night. I'm just saying. All right, everybody. Hey, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Always a great time chatting with you, Brian. We'll do this again next week. So because of the travels next week, Thursday and Friday of next week, we're going to be doing some kind of and Polio's watching this right now. She doesn't know anything about this, but we'll talk. We're going to do like SummerSlam preview episodes. One day we're going to look at the Raw card. One day we'll look at the SmackDown card or matches. And then we're going to pair those with audio. It will be physically impossible for me to do the shows next Thursday and Friday. So we're going to do these SummerSlam preview shows, hopefully with Polio, Paul, or Christy. I hope to get both of you to participate and do these with me sometime earlier next week. So we'll have 3 live shows next week, and then we'll be back to Monday after SummerSlam weekend with a big show with Michael Weissman. So anyway, a lot of things happening right now. And of course, this Friday, I've got the replay party for the AEW Rampage premiere party here in Chicago. So if you are in Chicago, you want to hang out with a bunch of fans, you want to watch the AEW Rampage premiere, come to Replay Lincoln Park. It's up at Sheffield and Diversity. It's a great barcade, all free arcade games. We have an AEW prize package they're sending. It's free to attend. You could walk away with free AEW swag. So, please just come to the party this Friday. It's free. You have no reason not to. They sent me drink specials that we're doing. Where's my gimmick? Where's my drink menu? Here, I'll pull it up. I have things. Yeah. All right. I thought of these, and then they made them real. I gave them ideas for drink specials for the party, and they made them real. So these are the drink specials.
Oh, how cool is that?
You can get a Darby Allin's Coffin Drop, which is a Malort shot dropped in a sparkling rosé. Sounds disgusting. We have the Hangman Special, Old Overholt Rye and Coke with a dash of honey bitters. That's my drink right there.
That sounds awesome.
Doesn't it? I was like, cowboy drink. That was my note to them. They have really fancy cocktail makers there. Stinger Splash, vanilla vodka, creme de menthe, and a generous splash of soda. See what they did there? Splash. And this last one, I again thought of the name and gave him a concept. Dr. Britt's Cavity Creator. It is a whipped cream vodka, cream soda, orange juice, and a candy slice. And so you can come on out to this party. You can have one of these delicious cocktails that we've created and, watch AEW Rampage. And maybe we'll leave with free stuff. So, all right. Tomorrow on the show, where's my run sheet? I have so many things. Okay, tomorrow on the show, we're going to present Scott Fishman's interview with Stephen Amell. Wonderful conversation. Arrow in the house. We were just talking about Punk on the set of Heels. Maybe some more insight about that. Wink, there is. If you like Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all your socials. And, of course, the Wrestling Inc. podcast goes live at night after the big shows. Just like this show, you can go subscribe to it on all your favorite podcast platforms. And that's all I got. Michael, or Brian, sorry. Just
thinking of Michael Wiseman. Hey,
I wasn't, just said his name. Brian, what do you want to plug, promote, put over here to wrap up the show today?
Oh, man, if you're in the Los Angeles area tomorrow, August 12th, come out to Flappers Comedy Club. At 8 p.m., you can see Brian Posehn, and at 10 p.m., you can see me, Brian Wohl. It's going to be so much fun. It's a great event, and, come out to Burbank. You never know. Jay Leno's been popping in. He might come in some weird car.
Dude, I saw him just this morning. Have you seen the video of him on the front of the airplane?
No, what?
Dude, all right. I don't have the time. This will make too much noise. Just do yourself a favor. Google Jay Leno front of airplane, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. It looks fake. Like this is Jay Leno out on like the front of an airplane, like waving back to people in the plane, and it's a real thing. You seen? Look at Brian's face here.
Yeah, I looked it up. That's a real thing. What?
That is not a Photoshop photo right there, Brian.
Oh, Jay. He's a wild man. Loves doing stand-up. Still going at it.
Crazy thing. Yeah, Polio Del Mer shared the TMZ link here if you want to go check out. Jay Leno hangs on front of airplane in wild video. Appropriate headline, by the way. 10 points. All right. I'm at Nick_Hausman. I'll be back tomorrow with Polio Del Mar, Paul Pratt. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll chat then. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.